Hey MecKidz, it's your boy Grant, and one of my favorite things in the world to do is play disc golf. Check out some of my favorite moments.
Whoa! I like that, Grant! No! Oh, look at that. Yes, I can do it, yes!
Me and my buddies love getting out on the course, slinging some discs, hanging out. It is the best. What is your favorite thing to do with your friends? Find someone right now and talk about that. Have you ever heard the phrase, you are what you eat? Like, if you eat broccoli. Or, you never miss Taco Tuesday. Or you love chowing down on fried fish. You are what you eat is completely ridiculous. You become who you spend time with? Not ridiculous. Your friends change and influence you. If you hang with wise people, you'll become wise. If you hang with foolish people, you'll become foolish. You become who you spend time with. Like for example, I remember it was a few years back. This one day I was in high school. Very flammable, highly combustible stuff. Bam! Woo-hoo-hoo! If I recall, this thing would literally shoot flames out of the end. Boom! And that thing just, whoa, it goes flying across the yard. Maybe let's take a look at the house over there. Let's see if there's no way it's gonna reach the house. No way it's gonna reach the house, right? Boom! Clean through the house. Clean through the wall of this newly built house. Woo! Yeah, I mean, that guy I was hanging out with was foolish. And if you hang out with foolish people, you'll become foolish. If you hang out with wise people, you'll become wise. Check out this story from the Bible about a guy who spent a lot of time with foolish people.
The story before the story.
Today, we turn to 2 Chronicles, one of the 12 books of history in the Old Testament, beginning with a man named Abraham. God had chosen a special family, the Israelites. Unlike every other nation, the Israelites had no king but God.
But the Israelites really wanted a human king, so God gave them one. The first king, Saul, didn't follow God, but King David and later his son Solomon both ruled wisely. Until
the end of Solomon's life, when he foolishly turned away from God and failed to pass on his wisdom to his son, Rehoboam.
And that's where our story starts.
Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian. Now before we dive into Rehoboam's story, let's take a closer look at Solomon. When he was a young king, Solomon had asked God for wisdom rather than riches or fame, and God made Solomon one of the wisest men to live. In fact, many of Solomon's wise sayings are collected in the book of Proverbs. Here's one verse from chapter 13.
Walk with wise people and become wise. A companion of foolish people suffers harm.
Pretty clear, huh? But King Solomon did not teach this wisdom to his son Rehoboam, who became king after Solomon died. But hey, even a young, inexperienced king can learn wisdom by asking wise people for advice? Right? You'd think. But here's what actually happened. Solomon had made the Israelites work extremely hard, and they were exhausted. So a man named Jeroboam, along with some of the people, came to see King Rehoboam.
King Rehoboam, we are so tired. Your father put a heavy load on our shoulders.
Yeah, seriously heavy.
Couldn't you make our work a little easier? Just a tiny bit? Do that, and we'll serve you.
Yeah, for reals. We'll be all in.
What do you say?
I need to think about this. Come back in 3 days and I'll give you my answer.
First things first, King Rehoboam went to talk with his advisors, experienced, wise men who had helped his father in years past.
Young King Rehoboam, you should say yes to their request. If you give them what they want, they're sure to give you what you want: loyalty and service.
So far so good, right? Walking with the wise, But, plot twist, King Rehoboam did not stop there. He went to find his own buddies, young, foolish guys with zero experience running a kingdom.
Listen, Ray, you're the man now.
Yeah, don't make their work easier.
Yeah, you should make it harder.
Totally. Let them know who's in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, does that sound very wise to you? Yeah, not so much. But Rehoboam liked the idea of making a show of his power. And when the workers returned 3 days later, they got their answer.
You think my dad, King Solomon, was tough? I got news for you. I'm even tougher. He made you break rocks? Well, I'm gonna make sure the rocks break you.
This sure was not what Jeroboam and the Israelites wanted to hear. They had made a reasonable ask, but Rehoboam was choosing to make things worse for them.
That does it. We don't want any part of you and your family anymore.
People of Israel, let's go back to our homes. David's royal family, take care of your own kingdom. Yeah, we're out of here.
Rehoboam had chosen to listen to the foolish words of his friends rather than the wise words of his experienced advisors, and it led to disaster. From that time forward, the kingdom was split in two parts, Israel and Judah, and the people strayed farther and farther from God. The end.
I think I speak for Carter when I say, whoa.
Yeah, what he says.
So much awful stuff that came from hanging out with unwise people.
Maybe there can be some good, too, if we learn from Rehoboam's mess-ups.
Oh, for sure. That's part of wisdom, learning from mistakes, whether they're yours or somebody else's.
So, what's our part in the story?
Well, God wants us to become more like Jesus in everything we do, including our choices. We can grow in wisdom by spending time with people who follow Jesus and make good choices.
And wisdom is finding out what the right thing to do is and doing it.
Sometimes that means not being too cool to ask your parents or some other wise grown-ups for advice and help.
Yeah, and noticing which friends or classmates are choosing wisdom.
Good idea. It's important to be friendly and kind to everyone, but you want to spend the most time with your wise friends.
You know, I think I'm a little wiser just from hanging out here today with you, Brian.
Hey, what about me?
You too, Carter.
I think you guys got it. See you next time.
When you hear the story of Rehoboam from the Bible, ask 3 questions. What does this show me about God? God is the only one who can give you wisdom. And one of the top ways God gives wisdom is through friendship with people who love God. What does this show me about me? If you want to be wise, you need to spend time with God and wise people who love God and follow Him. What should I do now? At the start of a new school year, choose wise friends. Usually, we pick friends based on who's fun. This year, pick wise friends. Don't worry, they'll be fun too. Here are 3 ways to see if a friend is wise. Number 1, do they treat authority figures like teachers, parents, or coaches with respect? Number 2, do they treat people younger or smaller than them with respect? If you have younger siblings, do they treat them well? Number 3, is there evidence that they follow Jesus? Do they go to church, pray, or talk about God? If you can say yes to all of that, then they are a wise friend. And when you spend time with wise people, you become wise.